There's a moment, quiet and often unspoken, that comes to many of us later in life. It's not loud, it doesn't announce itself. It might come while you're stirring your morning coffee, or folding laundry, or watching the sun set from the same chair you've sat in for years, and it sounds something like this. Is this all there is now? If that question has ever passed through your heart, this message is for you. Today we're talking about habits that gently creep into our lives as we age. Habits that may seem harmless, but slowly steal our joy, our connection, and our spark. And more importantly, we'll talk about how to begin again, gently, kindly, with hope. Mistake 1, saving joy for someday that never comes. I want to tell you about Irene. She's 74, a widow, frugal to the core. Her pantry is stocked, her bills are paid, and her savings, enough to keep her more than comfortable. But Irene still reuses paper towels, still says no to lunch out with friends, still wears the same winter coat she's had for 18 years. Why? Because joy, true, unfiltered, spontaneous joy, has been filed under maybe later. The truth is, someday is not a guarantee. According to research from the American Institute of Positive Aging, even small intentional spending, like fresh flowers, a cozy blanket, or paying someone to clean your gutters, can reduce depressive symptoms in seniors by up to 31%. Joy doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be present. So today, maybe the message is simple. Buy the fresh bread, send the card, light the candle, not because it's practical, but because you matter. Mistake 2, believing it's too late to begin again. That's for younger folks. My time has passed. Sound familiar? But here's the thing, your brain doesn't stop wanting to grow. A study from the University of California, Irvine shows that adults in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s can form new habits and neural pathways as long as they stay curious. I met Leonard, 80, who after losing his wife, spent 2 years in silence. One day his granddaughter handed him a harmonica and said, "Try this." He laughed, said he had no talent, but he tried anyway. Months later, he's playing every Friday at the senior center, laughing, practicing, even teaching others. Starting over doesn't need to be dramatic. It can be as gentle as trying a new recipe, taking a free online course, writing the first line of a story you've had in your heart for years. Growth doesn't have an age limit, but regret, that tends to show up when we stop trying. If you're ready to choose one small brave thing, just type hope in the comments. Mistake 3, holding on to draining relationships. Loneliness is real, but so is emotional exhaustion. Sometimes we keep people in our lives not because they lift us up, but because we're scared to be alone. I met Gerald, 72, who'd meet his old buddy every Sunday for lunch. But week after week, he came home feeling worse. All he does is complain, and somehow I end up feeling like I've done everything wrong in my life. Familiar. According to the National Institute on Aging, toxic social stress can increase inflammation, raise blood pressure, and worsen sleep. That's not just emotional harm, it's physical. You're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to say, "This isn't good for me anymore." You don't need a crowd. You just need a few people who make you feel safe, seen, and light. Mistake 4, neglecting the spirit. You take your vitamins, you check your blood pressure, but when's the last time you checked in on your soul? I spoke to Dorothy, 79, who said, "I used to sit with my tea and write down 3 things I was grateful for. Then life got busy, my husband got sick, and slowly I stopped." Years passed. One morning she picked up the pen again, and she wept. Not from sadness, but because she finally felt home again. Spiritual care isn't just religion, it's connection to something deeper. Journaling, lighting a candle for someone you miss. Sitting in silence, saying a quiet prayer. According to the NIH, seniors who nurture spiritual well-being have lower anxiety, stronger immune systems, and more emotional resilience. So today, take one small step to care for your spirit. It may be the most important medicine of all. Mistake 5, believing wonder is gone. I've seen it all. Nothing surprises me anymore. These are the words of someone whose heart has grown weary, but they don't have to be the end. I met June, 77, who hadn't felt wonder in years, until one day her neighbor's cat gave birth under her porch. She spent the next 6 weeks watching them grow, naming them, laughing at their clumsy jumps. And one morning she said to me, "I forgot how beautiful new life is." Discovery isn't always about travel or grand adventure. Sometimes it's just a new type of tea, a stranger's smile, a flower you never noticed before. When we stop believing in wonder, we stop seeing it. So today, look up. Something small and beautiful might be waiting for you. Mistake 6. Forgetting you still matter. The world may grow quieter as we age. The phone rings less. The invitations slow down. And without meaning to, we begin to feel like background music in other people's lives. But hear this. You are not invisible. You are still a main character in your own story. The wisdom, grace, and quiet power you've gained, the world needs that. So pick up the brush again. Share your stories, mentor someone, volunteer. Your presence still matters, deeply. Closing message, you still get to begin again. Today we talked about 6 mistakes that may be keeping you from truly living, and none of them make you bad, broken, or behind. They just mean you've lived, you've endured. But now you're allowed to begin again, with something as simple as a warm pastry, a handwritten letter, a walk down a new path. These aren't small. They're signals to yourself that say, I'm still here, still choosing, still becoming. If something in this message touched your heart today, I'd love to hear which part. Or if you'd rather just leave a quiet sign, type hope in the comments, because that one word, it carries more than you know. And if this kind of message feels like a soft place to land, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, share this with someone you care about. Until next time, may your tea be warm, your breath gentle, and may you remember, even in stillness, your story is still unfolding.